dreams just random images fired from an unconscious brain during sleep? Or something much more important, like life-saving inner guidance? How dreams can be healing and early warning tools for disease, financial crisis, or success. And love is still one of the behavioral science's greatest unanswered questions. Hello, I'm your host, author Kat O'Keefe Canavas. Welcome to Dreaming Healing, where dreams and cutting-edge scientific research meet on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. Dreaming Healing is every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific, when you can call in and ask Kat questions about your amazing dreams. Talk on air. Call toll-free, 833-220-1200. That's 833-220-1200. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Welcome to the Dreaming Healing Show on Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. This show is a video podcast. So if you're only listening right now and you want to watch us, you can go to my website at KathleenO'KeefeCanavas.com, and that's KathleenO'KeefeCanavas.com, or you can just type into the Google search bar, The Queen of Dreams. It's important that you put the in there, The Queen of Dreams. Then just click the Dream Vision 7 button up in the right-hand corner of the page, and it will take you to my show page, and you can watch this show. You can also call in during the show to talk to me, and you just dial 646-558-8656. So, what do Laura Staley, Helen Heinmiller, and Catherine Paour have in common besides being contributing authors to the Amazon #1 bestseller, Crappy to Happy? Well, they all had a very crappy experience with dating, love, and health that had an enlightened and happy ending. But we're going to share all those details later after our protection meditation. So if you're driving, please don't close your eyes during the meditation. Just listen. It will work. During this meditation, I want you to imagine using something small but powerful to you. Maybe it's something given to you in a dream by your guardian angels or spirit guides, or a deceased loved one like an amulet or a piece of jewelry, maybe a flower or a crystal. Imagine holding it in your hand. That is going to be your power of love. This is your power gift. Then we're going to take 3 deep breaths, and we're going to hold them while anything that is not of our highest and best is captured in that breath of life. And then we're going to blow it out across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain, where it will be converted into positive light and energy and returned to the universe. That way we're not going to litter. Then we're going to build a protection bubble with our power gift around us. Okay, ready? Close your eyes and settle down in your chair, wherever you're comfortable. Feel yourself relaxing and becoming totally centered. Take in a deep breath. Hold it. Imagine any negativity attaching itself to that breath of life like little pieces of black pepper. Blow it out across the room into the purple flame of Saint Germain. Again, deep breath in, all the way in. Hold it, blow it out across the room. One more time to get those stubborn little negativities. Deep breath in, as deep as you can. Anything someone said to you, did to you, or you said to them or did to them that's negative, it's captured in that breath. Blow it out across the room. Right into that purple flame. See it turn into golden light. Go up into the universe. Now imagine holding your power gift in your hand. Start to swing it all around your body, your head, your body, your arms, your legs, your feet. You're building a mirrored bubble around yourself. so that only that which is of the highest and best may come into that bubble, brought by your spirit guides and guardian angels. Everything else is reflected back from whence it came. We wish it so, and therefore it is. When you're ready, slowly open your eyes. No hurry. So, we all have crappy to happy moments in our lives. Some of those moments can feel like a lifetime, but knowing how to move through them can keep us happy, which is the key to health and wealth. Our guests today have a thing or two to say about all of this because, like many of you, they have survived and turned their crappy into happy and then wrote about it in the book, Crappy to Happy, Sacred Stories of Transformational Joy. All of these stories they're stories of grit, grace, and love. The foreword of the book was written by James Redfield, who was the author of the Celestine Prophecies. So please welcome the contributing authors. There's a transformational coach and Biz Catalyst 360 featured contributor, Laura Staley, with us. Biz Catalyst 360 featured contributor and healer, Helen Heinmiller, and blogger and storyteller who understands the challenges of being the perpetual patient. Oh, and I do too. Kathleen, Paour. They're here on the show with us tonight, and they're going to tell us a little bit about their stories. But right now, I realize I have been talking enough. So I'm going to actually ask them to tell you a little bit about themselves. So, Laura Staley, can you tell our audience a little bit about yourself?
Sure. So thank you so much, first of all, Kat, for having me on the program, and to Kathleen and Helen, I love both stories so much. I'm founder of Cherish Your World. So I passionately support people thriving in their physical space and in the quality of their lives and in their heart, mind, body, and soul. So with the ancient wisdom of feng shui, which is the art and practice of arranging your physical space to enhance the quality of your life, I really support people with meaningful questions and listening to their answers in that holistic transformation of decluttering, arranging, but then taking those thorns out of your heart and shedding the limiting beliefs that might be in your mind, and getting that quieter mind and connecting to your soul and your deepest purpose and passion and commitment, your values inside, so that you can begin to align your life with things that support you in the physical space, maybe even relocate to a place that nourishes your soul. I mean, some people love the beach, some people love the mountains, some people love the desert. So be in a location that really makes your heart sing, if that's possible, and then have those physical objects in your space that support you and nourish you rather than agitate or bring you down.
Yeah. Oh, that's wonderful. That is all such great advice, and you do some wonderful work. Helen Heinmiller, tell us a little bit about you.
Thank you, Kat, for having me. And I'm so honored to be here with the three beautiful souls that are with me. And I feel your energy tonight, and it's absolutely gorgeous. Well, I am a spiritual adventure novelist. I have 2 books, The Rustling of Angels and Final Redemption. And I'm also a healer that uses new 21st century techniques that are available to us now through solar color energy and light language to help people heal, whether it's physical, mental, emotional, or spiritual. And I also am a blogger, and I'm part of the Biz Catalyst 360 family. And I have a couple online courses about the color energy. And also I have a podcast on Sacred Stories Media.
Wonderful. And Catherine Paour, tell us a little bit about you. You've got quite a story.
I also want to extend my thanks and gratitude for being part of this beautiful project. It's been a first-time experience for me, and it's just been so delightful to be around other, both men and women who have offered such inspiration with their stories, but also, you know, bringing a newbie into the light and helping me to shine my light. It's been really fun. I'm born and raised in Torrance. I was born butt first, and that's how my story always starts off. And I always say that with laughter, but you know, it really was the catalyst for how the rest of my decades went. And I've been a perpetual patient for 60 years, just turned 60 last month. And I've always been an open book, and I love sharing my story, and I love educating women on things that have happened to me, in hopes that maybe it will help somebody else who might be going through a similar circumstance. And I had about 10 years experience of working in advocacy and social media platforms for awareness of shaken baby syndrome. So I've been able to turn a lot of my experience, not only with advocacy work, but in the healthcare industry and marketing and public relations, into teaching women how to advocate for themselves for their own healthcare needs, listening to their bodies, and follow that gut feeling that you have when you know something is wrong. And so I've just recently launched a website and just starting to dabble into the blogging. And I lead a group of 10 Christian writers who I'm helping to steer into the direction of helping to learn how to blog, learn how to write, learn how to submit stories for collaborative books. And this experience has just been a great tool for me, to help to share my gifts with other women. So thank you again for having me.
It's amazing. I'm a 3-time breast cancer survivor, and I fought that thing for years and years and years. And so that mindset of perpetual patient, I can remember how hard I would fight against it, because there were times where I felt like, well, it's been 4 months. Shouldn't something happen to me? And there are so many other women around there who have gone through breast cancer that feel the same way. But right now we're watching people going through this pandemic, and a lot of them are wondering, okay, I got over it. I'm supposedly healthy again now, but I was so close to death's door. Am I ever going to be normal again? So all of the stories in this book are so very important. Catherine, that looks like a blackboard behind you. Are you in a classroom?
No, it's actually glitters. It's really
oh my goodness. I was like, oh, you're in your classroom. I'm just so thrilled.
It's very glittery, and it should be more lavender looking.
It's beautiful. I love it. So, you all have these incredible biographies, and I wanted to talk about your actual stories. Laura, the name of your story is He Had Me at Mary Oliver, and it is in part 1, love and relationships, crazy little thing called love. Tell us a little bit about your crappy in that story.
So I was coming out of a 22-year marriage, a lot of challenge. My son, his life was challenging. There were many things that were really crappy. And in that place of really, really deeply desiring a love relationship, and panting, I decided, with a friend's encouragement, she's like, you just gotta get online. And so I got brave, and I got on the site that she recommended, and I began that process of engaging this online dating experience. And I really needed a Sherpa guide, because I had no clue what I was doing. the question came up, what are you looking for, in somebody that you would want to date? And I was like, anyone who would make me laugh, right? And that was it. Like, really, what was I thinking? And then it also came to the point about the handle, because you're not to use your own name. And so I sat there thinking, oh my gosh, I love the poetry of Mary Oliver. And I especially love the poem Wild Geese. So I was thinking, gosh, okay, some dude out in internet land will know the code. They'll be able to translate this. So I put out my Wild Geese, MO, standing for Mary Oliver, 11, because that's a cool number. And oh my gosh, and answered more questions, push send, and oh my gosh, my computer just blew up the next day. And I just was like, oh my God. But I got brave, and I opened this one from that came in from Passion Play 69. And again, sat there thinking, oh, he was born in 1969. That's cool. And I know y'all are laughing because I'm like, oh my gosh, I cannot believe this. And so he just said, I like the Ohio State Buckeye football. I love hiking in the woods. I like dark chocolate. I'm a social drinker. Do you like s'mores? And I just replied back, I'm good with all of that. I don't drink, but I have plenty of friends who drink socially. But I love the woods, and I love the Ohio State Buckeyes. And I haven't had a s'more in years. I'm gluten-free, but I could do the chocolate and marshmallows. And then, I go out for a run, and it finally, because I'm like, Passion Play 69, and it finally like downloads, and I'm like, oh. And I go to meet with a friend that afternoon, and she's like, oh my gosh, Laura, we've got to put you in a room. You've got to close down that site immediately. Don't you know about Urban Dictionary? And I'm like, Urban Dictionary? And she goes, okay, you already figured out Passion Play 69, but let's look up Wild Geese. And she's like, oh, and let's look up s'mores. Oh, and yes, close down that site right now. And so that's kind of the start of of my story. Kind of the crappy, embarrassing, very naive part, but I was deeply committed, to moving forward, because I knew I deserved and was worthy of love, although I was struggling with my own inner value. I loved myself, but I didn't really value myself. So then I had one more sort of crappy, but not really, but kind of 6-month dating situation with a gentleman I met business networking. And what was good is I was just internally throwing a lot of yellow flags on the play. So every time he disrespected me in front of people, and it happened a lot, and I chose to see it as he was being a mirror for me. Kind of his insecurities were matching my own internal ones, but I really didn't want to any longer be treated that way. I kind of saw it as, oh gosh, this was my last arrogant man. And then I got to do the deeper dive work. So I did bring an end to that relationship, and when I realized no more throwing yellow flags, now they're red flags that I'm throwing, and I just need to go to this gentleman and say, you know what, you're a good man, but this is not a good fit in so many countless ways, and to go about the business of doing that deep inner work on myself. That deep self-care, coming to terms with my own value, which is the very guidance that I offer my clients. So yeah,
I love that story.
Yeah,
I've got to find it. For those of you who are out there on the internet looking for dating, and find Urban Dictionary. Make sure you read Urban Dictionary first. Then go. So, Catherine, tell us a bit about your crappy to happy, and you and I, we talked about the perpetual patient. We share a lot of that in common, but tell us yours, because yours is amazing. Here it was, you actually were leading from behind, but it worked.
So, like I told you earlier, my crappy started being born but first, and I didn't walk till I was about 2. And when I was in my younger years, I was always struggling with PE or playing on the playground, always just behind in everything. Nobody ever wanted to pick me on their sport teams. Red Rover was like, I was the shoe-in to send me over because I couldn't run fast or break down any walls. And as I went into my teen years, it started getting worse, and I started having really bad asthma. And I was diagnosed at the age of 12 with a heart murmur and severe asthma. So as time went on throughout my teen years, I had scoliosis, and then I went into my 20s and I had, everything in the book. And then into my 30s, then I had a baby. Then my 40s, I had congestive heart failure. I had, really severe edema. I had tachycardia. I went through 3 cardiac ablations, 3 chemical conversions. I felt like I was in the hospital all the time.
You probably were.
If not, there were doctors' offices. And at a real early age, I became kind of like called the documentation queen, because I saved every medical record dating way back when into the 80s. So I have a real thorough history of where I came from.
So hold on to that thought, Catherine. We're going to come right back. We've got to go to a break, and we're going to pick it right up from here. You are listening to Dreaming Healing on DreamVision7radio.com. I'm your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Canavas, but my friends all call me Kat, so I hope you will too. Author of 24 award-winning series. And don't go away, because we're going to come right back, and we're going to pick up right where Catherine left off.
Ever had a strange dream? Nautilus Award winner, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases by Kathleen O'Keefe Canavas and Duke University radiologist Dr. Larry Burke. Forward by Dr. Bernie Siegel, shares how people like you self-advocated in the face of adversity and won using dreams. Read life-saving dream stories validated by medical reports. Hear how dreams of dead loved ones saved lives. Use interpretations and journaling as roadmaps in your waking world for health, wealth, and love. Dreams That Can Save Your Life. Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases. Buy the audio and book at KathleenO'KeefeCanavas.com in English and Italian worldwide, and through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other retailers.
How did life start on Earth, and why is there so much suffering? Are we living in a simulated reality like the characters in the Matrix movie? Do parallel dimensions exist alongside ours, influencing our experience? What are the mysterious dark energies that penetrate our universe? Peter Canova folds space and time to bring the twin bookends of ancient wisdom and quantum science into a single focal point, answering these and many other deep mysteries of the creation. Quantum Spirituality can be heard every Tuesday at 10 a.m. and 10 p.m. Eastern and 7 a.m. and 7 p.m. Pacific on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. See the show where past and present merge to show us our future.
What if dreams can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat O'Keefe Canavas, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Burke. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 radio network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Have you met your physician within yet? The Nautilus and multi-award-winning book, Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing, is a memoir that takes you down the rabbit hole of healing dreams and interpretations, mixed with conventional medicine and treatments. Listen to the hookah-puffing caterpillar ask, "Who are you?" Dr. Bernie Siegel says Kathleen's story is powerful, honest, and eye-opening. Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing by 3-time breast cancer survivor Kathleen O'Keefe Canavas. Buy the book book and audio at KathleenO'KeefeCannabis.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers. Why are we here? How can we be happy? Questions asked from millennials to boomers. Crappy to Happy, Sacred Stories of Transformational Joy answers them using true stories of grit, grace, and love. James Redfield, author of The Celestine Prophecy, wrote in the foreword, "This book is a seminar about emerging truths and offers grounded solutions through the art of the comeback." Dr. Bernie Siegel, a contributing author, wrote, "Bodies die, but spirits and consciousness survive and recycle." So, grab some tissues, open your book, and prepare to cry and laugh till it heals. Crappy to Happy by Reverend Ariel Patricia and Kathleen O'Keefe Cannabis. Available from Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and booksellers worldwide.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to Dreaming Healing on DreamVision7Radio.com, and I'm your host, Kathleen O'Keefe Cannabis, but please call me Kat. If you enjoy the show or have any questions or comments for me, please leave them on my Facebook page, Kathleen O'Keefe Cannabis, author, speaker, also accessible from my website, which you can find at thequeenofdreams.com. Just before the break, we were speaking with Catherine Paour. I just want to call her last name something else because it's spelled P-A-O-U-R, but her last name is Paour, Catherine Paour. And the name of her story is Wholehearted Living, and that's whole as in H-O-L-E. And so I'm hoping she's going to get to tell us how that wholehearted living came about. Now that we're back. Catherine, want to pick up where you were before and tell us about this wholehearted living?
Thank you. Yes, this is a great teaching moment. If you've ever had open heart surgery, you will learn a word called pump head, and it's post-perfusion syndrome, and it's how you have a very lousy short-term memory. So I'm really glad you told me where we left off because I completely forgot. But anyway, I thought we were just sharing our crappy. I didn't know we were moving into the happy, but
no, not yet. We're not going to do happy yet. Just share the crappy. Bring us up to the crappy.
Okay, so like I said, I had heart failure at age 42, and all these cardiac interventions, and I was working full time in corporate America. I was raising a child on my own, and just everything was. I always felt crappy, but I have to tell you, I was never unhappy. I've always been kind of a happy person. So at the age of 55, just about had it. I said, I'm going downhill. I can't walk. I can't do anything. I'm just like, what is going on? And mind you, I had a cardiologist for 35 years. So I decided to work with a life coach. And I worked with the life coach who was called the Yes, I Can life coach. And she asked me one pivotal question. Have you ever thought about going to get a second opinion? And the reason I asked her for some help is because I had so many ideas and dreams and visions and goals. I just didn't have the energy to do any of it. So I went to a new cardiologist after 35 years, did one test in the cath lab, and came into my recovery room and said, has anyone ever told you you have a giant hole in your heart? And that is how I learned that I had a giant, almost 3-inch hole in my heart. So the story from there, I mean, this is at the age of 55. This is a congenital heart defect that I was born with. So having gone through decades and decades of specialists and interventions and images, never to be found, never to be diagnosed. And quite frankly, I'm just lucky to be alive. So, for me, that was a very happy moment because I finally had an answer. So yeah, moving into the happy was the happiness of finding answers, and moving into the whole experience of going through open heart surgery and all of the hilarious things that happened from that moment on. are what prompted me to really want to be part of From Crappy to Happy, because I just love sharing the story of finding the funny in everything that you do when it has to come with your healthcare, because laughter really is the best medicine. So
it really is.
Yeah.
And you know what? Your story, when I was reading your story, I could not stop laughing. And I'm thinking to myself, I shouldn't be laughing at this, but you just wrote it so well. And your humor came out in every single page.
Thank you. And that was my goal, to find the humor and the happy. I have to always hold up my little happy sign. But, you know, I was looking for resources and inspiration when I was going through this, and I didn't really find what I was looking for. So I decided to be who I was looking for. And it's been really fun. It's been really fun.
Yeah, it's amazing. You know, I'm such a strong believer in second opinions. I believe second opinions save lives. So I'm really glad you went and got that. So Helen, tell us your crappy story. And before you start, let me see, I've got it in here. Where did it? Okay, so Helen, the name of your story is Awakened. Your story in the book is Awakened. Tell us about your crappy awakened.
Oh, I would love to. And my story is a little different than a lot of the stories in the book, but it's about a time in my life where I'd been working in corporate America for 15 years. And I had climbed the ladder of success and, you know, scaled those last few greasy rungs and got to the top of my profession, where I was being jetted to vendor sites and presented things. And I was at the top of my game, and it was a real accomplishment because I only had a high school diploma. So I had worked very hard to get where I was. And I had a beautiful new baby girl and a wonderful husband. And I was living the beautiful American dream. And yet I was so miserable and I was so sick. And I had no joy in what I was doing. I loved my job. I loved doing my job. I loved being a mother and a wife, and I was miserable. And every day I woke up and I wanted to run for the hills. And I knew I was working at a very stressful company that was a kind of a good old boys club. And I was one of 2 female managers. And I didn't get a lot of sympathy for when my daughter had pink eye and I'd have to stay home and miss a vendor meeting. And so without that support, you know, I felt like I was guilty if I wasn't at work. I was guilty if I wasn't home, you know, and I was being torn, and work was so stressful, not because of the level of work, but because of the atmosphere of just a lack of ethics in the company itself. And so I was unhappy for much deeper reasons than I thought, because my reputation was always on the line because I represented the company with a lot of big vendors. And so it got to the point where I was so depressed that I just had to do something to relieve the stress. So I joined a little Tuesday night prayer group at my church just to get away from everything, get away from being a mom, being a boss, being a manager, being a wife. I just wanted quiet, contemplative prayer. And so, and I also thought this is where I could get my answer on how to become happy again. And so I went to this prayer night, and there was 4 beautiful older women that I call my grandmothers that just kind of embraced me with this incredible love. But I soon found out during the prayer group that they were very different prayer ladies, and they all had these special gifts. And one of the women spoke in tongues. And I was sitting next to her in the prayer group, and everybody's eyes are closed, and I hear her doing her tongues thing, and her eyes are rolled back in her head. And I'm like, oh my God, what am I doing? I'm a manager, I'm a businesswoman. Now I've thrown myself into this group, and they're doing these things, and they're doing energy work and, you know, speaking tongues, and this isn't helping me because I think I'm going to go insane. And so I left, you know, they explained to me the tongues and what it was. And they said it was because they all were received by the Holy Spirit as an adult, like a reconfession. And this was at an Episcopal church where as a child, you get what's called a where you get First Communion, but then you also get the gifts of the Holy Spirit. And so as an adult, you can receive the gifts, but then you have to promise that you will use whatever gifts that they gave. And one of them was tongues. And so I was like, no, thank you, I'll pass. But then I went back to work, and the next week, it seemed like everything got worse. It just got escalated to the point of I didn't have the strength to go into work anymore. And everybody thought I was crazy because I've got this great job and this money, and why would you be unhappy? And why is this so stressful for you? And there was a tugging on my soul that I just couldn't find a resolution for. And so the next Tuesday night, I went back and I said, okay, I'm desperate. Let me, do the thing. I'm going to receive and I'll do the gifts, but I just can't take it anymore. And so and I explained in my book what happens, but little did I know that this was going to actually throw my life into even more chaos as I discovered the answer to make me happy.
Well, don't give us the happy.
I know.
Yeah, we're
I have to leave it
there. We want everybody watching to go, Okay, so let's start with you again, Catherine. What was your happy? And when you got to that happy, was it a slow shift into that happy? Or did you have an aha moment and went, I think I got it? What was it?
For me, I want to say it was neither. I've always been really a happy person. I grew up in a very well-rounded family with a lot of humor and a lot of happiness and a lot of love. And I think what just really happened for me is that it just became more real, that after finding the hole in my heart, that I just really became very grateful for that gift of happiness, because I was able to still experience it when all of the odds were against me, that I should not have even survived many of the things that I went through. Mm-hmm. So it was more of a confirmation for me that I really do have the gift of happiness, and I really do deserve to live a happy life, and to not feel like I'm always going through the crappy times anymore. Mm-hmm. So hope that helps answer the question.
Yeah, I'm curious. Did you ever go back to your previous cardiologist and say, by the way, did you know that I had a big gaping hole in the heart?
Well, that's a little chapter of the book that is not included in your story, my chapter there. But when I went 3 weeks after open heart surgery to repair the hole, I went back in the ICU for a week, had a lot of complications. And the attending cardiologist was my former cardiologist, who walked into the ER and had to treat me when I was what I was feeling like near death. I mean, that's where I really felt. And of course, he had no clue what I had just been through. So he had to find out the hard way that I had just been through open heart surgery and I had this giant hole in my heart. So he came to check in on me in the ICU, and I told the nurse that he needs to be removed from my room to never see him again.
Well, you stood in your power. I think that's, that was important. You needed to do that because here you'd gone through all those years and you didn't get the right treatment. I think it's really another thing that you pointed out that was really, really important. And that's to trust in that female intuition. Our female intuition is second to none when it comes to guiding us. And I really believe it's something that we're taught, and I'm sure Helen ran up against this a lot in her job, where, the establishment is saying, listen to the professionals, listen to the scientists, listen to the data. But our female intuition, I know mine did, it saved my life 3 times, and it saved yours, Catherine.
Yes, listen to your gut, listen to your heart. Women, we know our bodies, and for someone to tell me that I'm just hyperventilating or I'm a hypochondriac,
It's annoying. It's real. I can remember my doctors looking at me and going, "Are you back?"
Yeah. And I have to share, just as a little side note, that we actually did pursue action against the other cardiologist. My heart just wanted to do that. It just needed to put closure to that hole in my heart entirely. And it was determined that he met the gold standard of care. So
really interesting.
Figure that one out.
Well, that's where coming in, that intuition, sometimes you just have to change doctors. There's no other way around it.
Right.
So Laura, tell us, how did you find your happy? And did you, did you just kind of shift into it, or was it an aha moment?
Well, I shifted into it. I had to walk my own talk. I mean, it was hilarious. I was on the phone with a friend who, I had given her, offered her guidance and her feng shui, right, for her home and her life. And she's like, no, like, seriously, Laura, walk into your bedroom. What's in your bedroom? And of course, I'm standing there and I see that there's this print of a single woman with her back to me. It's beautiful. It's a photograph taken in the Arches National Park. She's in a yoga position, but wow, really? Because here I am wanting to affirm a relationship, and I'm anchoring in the love corner of my bedroom, which is a tool in feng shui, a single woman. So I immediately laughed at myself, of course, and took that down and really began and then put up a collage of lots of images of couples, kissing and holding hands and smiling, and just beautiful images that I put in place of that. But then I did the deeper work and began journaling for 45 minutes every single day, answering 36 questions out of another book called The 21 Days to Your Love of Your Life. And I cried, but I poured out of my soul what I really, really wanted. So not just somebody who make me laugh. I mean, that was part of it, but for instance, self-awareness kept showing up all the time. And so in that slow process, then did a transformational workshop, deeper emotional intelligence, leadership work, and wow, just, shed more thorns in my heart and really, really came home to my soul. And I think that's the biggest thing, because I think a lot of people may not do the deep inner work, because you could move all kinds of things around, but until you do that deep inner work inside yourself to see and connect with your value. Because a lot of women I know struggle with a sense of unworthiness for whatever reason. And I certainly did. And so it was so important that I had that moment of getting my own internal value. And as I experienced it, coming home to my own soul. And then I got brave and went out there to a singles mingles event. And there was a gentleman who looked at me and twinkled. And on the third date, he reached out in an email to say, hey, I really enjoyed meeting you. There was just lovely conversation there. I even had a friend who's like, oh, it'll be all women. And I was like, that's okay, because I'll make a new friends. But there were 8 men and 4 women, which was just delightful. And he reached out, and on our third date, there was.
Don't tell us what he wrote. Okay, don't tell us what he wrote, because we have to take a break. When we come back, we want to hear about that email. So don't go away. You are listening to Dreaming Healing on DreamVision7Radio.com.
What if dreams can diagnose your life? What if we can meet the love of our life in dreams? Join host Kat O'Keefe Canavis, the #1 internationally best-selling author of Dreams That Can Save Your Life, written with Duke University medical doctor Larry Burke. Dreaming Healing is where we'll explore dreams, research, and interpret dreams from you, the caller. Dreaming Healing shows can be heard every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern, with live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Come live your dreams out loud with Kat.
Ever had a strange dream? Nautilus Award winner, Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases by Kathleen O'Keefe Canavas and Duke University radiologist Dr. Larry Burke. Forward by Dr. Bernie Siegel, shares how people like you self-advocated in the face of adversity and won using dreams. Read life-saving dream stories validated by medical reports. Hear how dreams of dead loved ones saved lives. Use interpretations and journaling as roadmaps in your waking world for health, wealth, and love. Dreams That Can Save Your Life, Early Warning Signs of Cancer and Other Diseases. Buy the audio and book at KathleenO'KeefeCanavas.com in English and Italian worldwide and through Amazon, Barnes & Noble, and other retailers.
Have you met your physician within yet? The Nautilus and multi-award-winning book, Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing, is a memoir that takes you down the rabbit hole of healing dreams and interpretations, mixed with conventional medicine and treatments. Listen to the hookah-puffing caterpillar ask, "Who are you?" Dr. Bernie Siegel says Kathleen's story is powerful, honest, and eye-opening. Surviving Cancerland, Intuitive Aspects of Healing by 3-time breast cancer survivor Kathleen O'Keefe Canavas. Buy the book and audio at KathleenO'KeefeCanavas.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers. Darkest hours to brightest moments, transformation from despair to happiness, and chaos to clarity. Real people, real pain, real healing. Life-threatening illness, death, abusive relationships, divorce, and overcoming addiction are challenges these men and women faced head-on. See how they emerged stronger and happier. Buy the new book, Chaos to Clarity, Sacred Stories of Transformational Change by Reverend Patricia Caginello and Kathleen O'Keefe Canavas. Available on sacredstoriespublishing.com and worldwide through Amazon and other retailers.
In a world facing annihilation, a miraculous African nun rises to become the first female pope through a web of war, murder, and betrayal. Loved by some, hated by many, she becomes the deadly target of Islamic terrorists and her own cardinals as she introduces a new vision that will either save humanity or accelerate its destruction. 4 people must race against a nuclear holocaust to learn her astonishing secret. Pope Annalisa is available at petercanova.com, Amazon, and other online booksellers and bookstores worldwide.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.
Welcome back to the last segment of our show. You are watching and listening to Dreaming Healing on syndicated DreamVision7radio.com, and I'm your host, Kat Canavas. You can listen online on mobile and cars with Bluetooth and through Amazon's Echo by saying, "Alexa, play Dream Vision 7 Radio Network." If you have a question or comment, you can leave it on my Dreaming Healing website or my Facebook page with the link on my regular website, which is The Queen of Dreams. And if you're listening for the first time or watching for the first time, on my website, you can download your free gift. Just go to my website, look at the top right-hand corner, and download your free gift. Just before the break, we were speaking with Laura, and she was telling us about her happy and a special email that came in. Laura?
Oh, so I received the email from the gentleman who had sat catty corner from me and literally twinkled at me. So I dubbed him my twinkling man, but he reached out to say, I would love to, meet you for, a beverage. And we just discovered one of many in commons, because he actually didn't drink coffee. And I was like, I mostly don't drink coffee either. And so do I give away?
Yeah, you can now. You can tell the happy part now. We're at the happy part.
Okay. So we really hit it off, and he's just a wonderful human being. And by the way, I would say that the practice of receiving love, like genuine love on all levels and all languages, is probably where what I'm stretching into now, and unprotecting the heart. But on the third day, there was an unusual lull in the conversation. And so I looked at him, I said, well, do you enjoy reading books? And he goes, well, yeah, in the evening before I go to bed, I've been reading the poetry of Mary Oliver. Can't make this stuff up. Right. And I squealed. And of course I told him the whole ridiculous story. He's laughing, I'm laughing, but I'm having this moment like, oh my gosh, this is divine choreography. And of course we've now, sorry, I get emotional, but we've been together now 3 years and 6 months, and it's the most beautiful love that I've ever experienced. And, even when we're different people, he's more internal processing, very analytical. I can do that too. I'm better at that. But as you can tell, I'm also very, but vivacious.
Not you.
My hands, talk with my whole body. And as he likes to say it, he likes to kind of sit on that bench and just, hold space as I ride that roller coaster of all kinds of emotions in about, 10 minutes or 45 minutes. And be there to hug me and hold me at the end of the ride. And, just the deep acceptance is just exquisite. And
so you're happy is when you finally found that love. Oh my gosh, that is a great happy. So Helen, tell us you're happy. I mean, these happies are just so great. I mean, Catherine gets to live. Laura finds her love. What's yours, Helen?
Well, mine was an aha moment. And so I think where I left off is that I was absolutely miserable. And I went to the next church prayer group and I said, receive me. I'm all in. I need to find answers. And I think this is it. And so they explained what they were going to do, and that they were going to gather around me, and then I'd fall back on the floor like you see on the TV with some of those evangelical things. And I'm like, okay, this is crazy, but nobody's here that knows, from work. I'm just going to do it because I'm desperate. I need answers. And so they do their thing and nothing happens. And I'm standing there going, oh, holy crap, I've been rejected by the Holy Spirit now. What do I do? So they're like, oh, honey, don't worry about it. Your gifts will come and you'll know it. And I'm like, oh, great. Yeah. And so I leave the church and I get in the car, and then I'm like, what was I doing? Why did I think that was going to give me my answer? And so I kind of got mad at myself, and I got in my little Mitsubishi car and I started driving home on these dark, windy country roads. And then this supernatural event happens that just awakens me to the very nature of who we are as human beings, and that we are not alone. And some people could say it was an angel, intervention kind of event. I don't want to go into all the details with the story, but when I got home after this powerful supernatural event happens, I confess to my husband how miserable I am, and that I've always wanted to be a writer, and I don't, like my job, even though it pays well. And, I just do this big confession and cry and all. And he comforts me, but it's still no answer, to my situation. So I went back to work for a little while, and it stayed the same, but it actually got worse because now I have this new lens. I can see more of what's going on in front of me, and it's hard to describe, but I saw their souls, and I saw that why I have been so unhappy in corporate America is because there is no love. It is based on fear, and and greed, and at least in the companies that I had worked in, and that I have always clashed with this because I have always had the lens of love and saw things differently, just like our women's intuition. I just knew, and it was this aha moment. I can't stay here because the only way I can is if I do, I will become them, because it is going to be the only way that I can be part of this. And so I was able to have the strength to not only move on from that, but it set me out on this journey where I have discovered just how powerful we are as humans, how we are not alone. There is helpers all around us, and that there is even new spiritual gifts that we have to heal ourselves and our world. And that actual experience changed the direction of my life and my desired path forever. So,
wow, and you can read all the details about all of their stories. They just skimmed the surface, seriously. In the book, Crappy to Happy, read the details. You're just not going to believe them. They're so amazing. We've only got like 2 minutes left before the end of the show. I told you it was going to go so fast. I mean, this has been such a great show. So I'd like for you to go around and tell our audience quickly your website again. We don't have time for much more. We got to get off in like 2 minutes. So Catherine, your website, how can they find you?
My website is called Wholehearted Courage, and that's whole, H-O-L-E, wholeheartedcourage.com.
Great. And Laura?
CherishYourWorld.com.
And say that one more time.
Sure. CherishYourWorld.com.
Okay. And Helen, yours?
Mine's real simple, HelenHeinmiller.com.
Great. Well, I want to thank all three of you for being on the show with us tonight. It's been wonderful listening to your stories, and they're just so enlightening. And I want to leave you and all of our audience with this parting thought. Life is like a book, just like this crappy to happy one. Some chapters are crappy, some happy, some exciting. But if you stay on the same page and never turn the page, you'll never know what joy the next page may hold. So a big thank you to our producer, Bob, and please join me again next Tuesday for more enlightening dreams and stories from crappy to happy. We're going on 2 more shows with authors from this book. This show will be archived on my Dream Vision 7 Radio Network page, accessible from my website, again, The Queen of Dreams. So until next time, remember, everybody dreams, but some dreams save lives. Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Thank you for joining us this evening, and a big thanks to our producer. Tune in next time to Dreaming Healing for more cutting-edge research, live dream interpretations, and stories with radio host and award-winning author Kat O'Keefe Canavas. Listen every Tuesday at 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. Eastern Time with call-in live shows on the first and third evenings at 9 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Pacific Time on syndicated Dream Vision 7 Radio Network. Remember, everyone dreams, but some dreams save lives. Live your dreams. Find more about Kat at KathleenO'KeefeCanvas.com. That's Kathleen with a K. OKEEFEKANAVOS. Or The Queen of Dreams on Google search.
This is Dream Vision 7 Radio Network, uniting mankind with universal love. Our shows are created from the heart, bringing each listener to a place of divine enlightenment. Breathe, relax, and enjoy. Let life flow.